Hey guys, what's going on? If you're new here, my name is BrittanyNichole. Welcome. I'm happy to have you here. If you're not new here, welcome back. Today we are going to do this Gigi Hadid business of fashion. I don't know if it was like a gala or what it was, but she wore what looks like this to me, and I saw it in a recent picture and I absolutely loved it. I tend to like a lot of Gigi's looks because she also has hooded eyes and she's a little bit more reserved with her makeup. Sometimes she's not, sometimes she steps really far out, but I saw this picture. I'll put up a couple of pictures, one picture up here so you guys can see what I'm going towards, and I fell in love with it. So I put on a pair of hoops. I'll leave details below that I thought looked like what she had on. I kind of did my hair what I thought would look like hers, and I put on the only yellow shirts that I have. Most of my wardrobe is black, white, and gray. So I wanted to kind of interpret what I thought her makeup would look like. I kind of scoured the internet, and granted this was only a few days ago, so there weren't that many close-up pictures of her makeup, and you really couldn't see what was on her lids, like really at all. Some of the pictures look a little more like burgundy eyeshadow, which is kind of what I geared towards, and some of them look a little more brown. So I kind of used my imagination on some of this, but I really enjoy how this turned out, and it is so simple. I'm using a ton of drugstore products, so if you guys are interested in seeing how I got this look right here. Oh, I'm also using the Makeup Revolution Emily the Wands collection again, which I'm absolutely loving. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing how I got this look right here, definitely go ahead and keep watching. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with foundation. I'm just taking my Maybelline Superstay foundation in 220, and I'm gonna dot that all over my face. So I didn't like pile that on too heavy. I really just used 2 pumps because you can still kind of see her skin. It doesn't look like she has a ton of foundation on, and I'm sure she has beautiful skin anyway since she's a model. So I just applied 2 pumps, and I didn't even apply a primer. I just went in with my moisturizer, which is Embryolisse. I'll leave all those details below if you're interested in that, but that kind of doubles as a primer for me. So the next thing I'm gonna go in with is my Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I have the color Natural Beige. And I'm just gonna use a little bit of this under my eyes and around my nose. I don't wanna go too heavy once again because it doesn't look like she has too much coverage on. I just wanna kind of cover up some darkness under my eyes. And then I'm just gonna set that with my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. And then on the rest of my face, I'm just gonna use my Physicians Formula Youth Wear setting powder. This is a translucent powder with kind of a little bit of a glow to it. And I'm just gonna take that on a Real Techniques fluffy brush and just set the rest of my face. Now it doesn't look like she has a ton of bronzer on. I'm sure she has a tiny bit. It's hard to tell from the pictures. I feel like the pictures kind of wash her out a bit, at least the ones that I've seen. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is in the color Bronzer, which is a little lighter. I could probably use deep bronze if I really wanted to give myself a nice glow. And I'm just gonna really lightly just kind of bronze the face just a little so there's a little color and dimension, because right now I'm pretty flat. I always take a little bit of my bronzer on a fluffy brush as well and just kind of sculpt out this area. It just helps my eyes look a little bit wider, so personal preference, this isn't mandatory. And as for blush, it looks like she kind of has a corally brush on, so I'm just gonna take the Essence Satin Touch blush in Satin Coral. I love these. These are so good, and I think they're like $3 or $4 at Ulta. Pick these up. They only have 2 shades, and they definitely need more, but they have this more coral shade and then a pinky shade. So I'm just gonna apply that a little bit further back. It doesn't look like it's quite on the apple of her cheeks. It looks like it's a little further down, kind of where you would apply contour, and then a little bit up onto the cheek. So I'm gonna try to mimic that. Just like that. And I know Patrick Ta likes to take his blush and apply it into the crease to kind of make everything look like seamless and put together. So I'm gonna keep the blush out when I do the eyes and make sure I throw a little bit of this in the crease. As for brows, it doesn't look like she's applied anything in there, or Patrick Ta has. So I'm really just gonna brush them up to get rid of any foundation that may have gotten caught. And I'm just gonna use my Benefit 24-hour brow set to really keep them in place. That is like glue for your brows. If you needed to fill in your brows anywhere, you could, but I have thick enough. I don't have like the thickest brows in the world, but they're thick enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take that brow set and really work them up. My camera shut off as I was kind of working the product up, but you could see that kind of made my eyebrows look a little more sparse by applying that. So I'm just gonna go in with a little tiny bit of a brow pencil, just where it looks like I need a little bit. So like the outer bit here, I need a little bit, and I'm using a very light hand, and just hair-like strokes kind of right along there, but you still want them to look kind of sparse and undone like model brows. So really minimal, you don't want it to look too perfect. And then again, just gonna brush everything up. All right, so let's get to these eyes. So I have not been setting my concealer, which is why you've probably been able to see creases this entire time, because I've just been thinking that my shadow has been adhering and lasting a little bit longer when I don't do that. So I'm gonna go in with the Makeup Revolution Emily Edit the Wants palette. I love this palette, and I feel like she has the perfect tones in here to kind of mimic this. There's not any pictures that have come out yet that show like her blinking or anything, so it's a bit hard to tell exactly what she has on, but it looks like she has kind of a brown in her like crease. She has hooded eyes like I do. Hers are a little less hooded, but she still has hooded eyes. And then it kind of looks like she has a combination of brown and burgundy on her lid and under her eyes. So that's what we're gonna kind of mimic here. So to start out, I'm just gonna take my Smith 232 and I'm gonna use the shade Midwest in the palette, which is this one right here. Looks very similar to what she has. And this is not a heavy makeup application. Her makeup is never too heavy. Patrick Ta doesn't really do super heavy makeup in general, and it seems like he does a lot of her events. So I'm just gonna start to take that, and then again, I'm gonna go in with that blush color again, like I talked about. So here we go. You know what? This is actually showing up a little too red toned, so I think I'm actually gonna take Hobby instead, which is a little more brown. I might take a mixture of both to start. That's what I'll do. I'll take Midwest and Hobby to start and just work that in the crease. I'm starting to take my phone as my mirror. Hello. And if you have hooded eyes, if you look down, I'm holding a compact down, you can really kind of access your, that's a better color. You can access your crease a lot more this way. And I'm just holding my brush at the end, so I'm not applying too much color. We just want a nice wash. And I'm just gonna take a combination of the two once again and take that all the way down. So as I'm looking at these pictures, I feel like some of them look a lot more burgundy and some of them look a lot more brown. So I'm not sure until more pictures come out, but I do like how this looks and I think it's mimicking it pretty well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and repeat the steps under the lash line with this Wet n Wild pencil brush. So I'm taking a bit of Midwest and a bit of Hobby, and I'm gonna hold my mirror up like this, and I'm gonna start to apply that under the lash line. And she does have this smoked out quite a bit, so I'm not gonna hold back too much, but I don't wanna like drag it down a ton. All right, so again, the actual lid is kind of up to interpretation since you can't fully see it in any of the pictures that I've looked at. So I'm just gonna go in with dues paid right here. I might end up going a little bit with apartment to make it a little bit darker, or I might use apartment as more of like the liner because it does look like she has kind of a brown gray tight line with what I would imagine is an eyeshadow. So I'm gonna start with dues paid. And you know what? I'm gonna take just a tad bit of Good Vibes. It's shimmery. I don't know if she has shimmer. I feel like a lot of times she does have a little bit of shimmer on her eyes. So I'm just gonna take that on a Smith 256, which is a flat brush. And I'm gonna just lightly take that onto the lid. So there's a little more definition there. And that to me looks like it would be about right with what she has going on. And then on a Smith 247, dipping into dues paid just once, I'm gonna start to just blend those edges so it seamlessly goes in. And then I'm just gonna take whatever's left on the brush and kind of work that under. So we're not adding color, but everything is just kind of nicely tying together. All right, so like I said, it does look like she has a little bit of a liner going on. Again, some pictures looks like it doesn't, some pictures look like they do. So I'm just gonna take Apartment, which is that darker brown that I was telling you about earlier, and I'm taking that on a flat brush. This is a Morphe G28, whatever flat brush you have. You can wet your brush a little bit if you wanted to, and I'm just gonna kind of work that right into the lash line. So right where my lashes and my actual like lid meet, I'm gonna kind of push right in there. So there's a little definition, but it's not taking away any more lid space. It looks like she does have a tiny, tiny bit on her lid, but my eyes are a bit more hooded, and that is just gonna take away space from my lid. So I'm just gonna go and push this in the lash line. So you could see the difference. It just kind of adds a little bit of definition to the lashes without taking away lid space. And she does have a black liner on the upper waterline and the lower waterline. So I'm just gonna take this Lancome eyeliner and I'm gonna line both my upper waterline and lower waterline. And then again, with that flat liner brush, I'm not adding anything to it. I'm just gonna kind of work that right where I applied the lower liner, so it's not quite so harsh. I just want it to look a little softer. So I'm just kind of touching right over. All right, so I'm just gonna curl my lashes and apply some mascara. It doesn't look like she has any false lashes on. She might have some individuals on, but I'm gonna try to just curl my lashes. I do wanna add a little bit of highlight first though. I can't really tell if she has any highlight on her face. It doesn't look like it. It looks like her face is actually pretty matte for the most part. Looks like she has a little bit above her brow. It's likely that she has, I can see a little on her nose. It might just be a glowy foundation. She's not super highlighted is what I'm getting at, but she does have a little bit on her inner corner. So I'm just gonna take this Milani's Strobe Light in Day Glow because these aren't like crazy intense, and I'm gonna put that right here to open up the eye a little bit more, and it looks like she does have a little bit in there. So you can see it's not like crazy intense or anything like that. I'm gonna also take that, I think from what I can remember seeing Gigi, she usually highlights, or her makeup artist, usually highlights her kind of right between the brows there. And it's not, again, too intense. I'll apply just a little to the tip there, and then this is kind of discolored, so I'm actually not gonna use that. I'm gonna use my finger instead. Just a little straight down the nose. And then on a Sigma F06, I'm just gonna take a little bit above the brow and just a little on the cheeks. Again, I can't tell if she has this or if she doesn't. And then I always kind of just take my beauty blender and touch over everything so it's not too intense. I think she does have a little in her Cupid's bow as well, so. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and curl and then apply a couple of coats of mascara, and I will meet you right back. We had a minor catastrophe with our mascara on the outer corner there, but I think I fixed it. So let's go on to lips. I'm just gonna go ahead and take MAC Strip Down. It looks like she's got a nudie brown liner all over her, like the outline of her lips, and then she's got a lighter color on the inside. So I'm just gonna line. It does look like she overlined quite a bit, but my lips are a little bit fuller, so I'm just gonna kind of follow my natural lip line. So hers looks a little more like nudie than mine does, but that's okay. And it really does look like she has a nude lipstick on, and I actually don't have a full-on nude lipstick. That's just not my favorite thing to apply. So I'm gonna take a little bit of Desi X Katie Dose of Colors collection and just kind of tap that on the middle of my lips. Because I think this is as nude of a shade as I have. And then I'm just gonna take a tiny, tiny bit of a concealer, whatever concealer you have. Sitting in front of me is just the Makeup Revolution C7. And I'm taking a very, 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 very tiny bit. I'm just gonna hit the middle. Super old school. Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty close, I guess. So yeah, this is pretty much it, you guys. I just have my hair in like a kind of like a bun pushed up. I can't see from any pictures how her hair is, but she does have these little like curly pieces. Oops, I have something black in my hair. It's cute. It's never a video unless there's something that looks totally off, but this is pretty much it, you guys. This is super, super easy. I feel like I said, some of her pictures look like the eyeshadow's a little more brown. Some of them look a little more burgundy. I feel like she kind of goes towards burgundy a little bit more. And like I said, on the actual lash, sorry, my eye is starting to water as per usual. On the actual lid rather than lash, I feel like this is what she would have on there. So yeah, I had a lot of fun making this. I think this is really, really pretty, and I think it's a really, really nice kind of transition to fall. Let me back this up so you guys can see everything. There we go. I think this is a nice transition into fall because it's not actually fall, I don't think, until September 23rd, if I remember correctly, somewhere at the end of September. So I feel like the weather's starting to get a little bit colder and we're all kind of getting into that whole like fall makeup, I want you right now, but we're not quite there yet, if that makes sense. So I think this is a really, really nice transition. So I hope this was fun for you guys. Let me know what you thought below. If you're interested in seeing any more videos from me, please subscribe. It means the absolute world to me, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.